This is KFDM Sports Extra with Mike Friedman and Cam Sanderson.
Hey there, everyone. Indeed, welcome in to the KFDM Sports Extra podcast. I'm Mike Friedman along with Cam Sanderson, and we're talking nothing but Southeast Texas sports on your favorite, wherever you're listening to your favorite podcasts, or even on YouTube. Just search news on KFDM on YouTube, and you're able to watch this right now. We're going to jump right in. We're going to do our new top six for Week 9, a new top six, and yes, it's changed a little bit.
Yeah.
Go ahead and pop it up, Cam.
Yeah, for the first week, we're actually not going to reveal it one by one because it's kind of gotten to the point where it's like you're saying the same things over and over.
Yeah,
and it's not a surprise to see who's up there. I'll address the elephant in the room with this one. No Westbrook. And
right.
Westbrook's been on this since week 3, I think, for both of us. Bad loss against Port Arthur, obviously. It was a tough first half, and then after that, it got completely out of hand.
I will say if it was a top 10, they didn't fall that far.
No,
they just fell out of the top 6 because there are 6 other teams I feel like should have been ahead of them. Westbrook now with 2 losses, even though Silsbee comes in with 2 losses as well. They're undefeated in district and in line still to compete for a district championship. I think that's out of reach now for Westbrook.
Oh, yeah.
A district title or anything like that. They're just fighting for a playoff spot. But Silsbee, this is the first time I've had Silsbee at my top 6 since week 3.
Right.
And they had 2 non-district losses, and so that kind of dropped them a little lower for me. But the Tigers certainly are doing well. I think this week, and we'll talk about some of these games coming up this week, there's big matchups just about everywhere you look.
Yeah.
But this week I think will go a long way in whether Silsbee moves up or drops down.
Yeah, absolutely. I think they're going to be set up in a position to go against a tough West Orange Stark team. I do. It seems like this is probably the battle for the district crown. Obviously, that's not set in stone because West Orange Stark will see Hampshire at the end of the year, so I wouldn't say a West Orange Stark win clinches it, but a Silsbee win, I'd say just about does that. That's probably a clinch for Silsbee. So it's going to be a big one. I got Hardin in my top 6 now.
Yeah.
Didn't have them last week, but I told you they were right outside. And, with the Westbrook loss, I was able to move them in. But yeah, they've been great. I got the chance to go out to their practice, and I was blown away.
Yeah.
Some of the things they do, how hard they work, it shows in their record. It shows on the field. And, I'm rooting for them to get that district win.
Right.
74.
Since 1974, they haven't been district champs. They've got it up on their little banner plaque or something up there.
2 district champs.
2 district champions ever in the history. Yeah. So for the first time since 1974, those Hardin Hornets are in line to get the district title, and I don't see any reason why they wouldn't this year. They were off this past week, and so they've got a good game coming up this week, but they should win pretty easily, and I think they've got a good path to get to 10-0 this year.
Yeah, I think that's what they'll end up at. And, I also got Silsbee moving up from 6 to 5. The Tigers, they look good, and right now you can't really make an argument for anybody else in the district. Maybe West Orange Stark, and I guess we'll see after this Friday.
Right.
But I'd say Silsbee, they've looked pretty tough, especially opening district, and to take down Hampshire Finette like they did to open up district play was a big reason they even jumped into my top 6. And then they're going to beat Tarkington. That didn't blow me away, but I had to move them up because other teams moved down.
Yeah, and let's let people in who are listening in on what we do to prepare. When we build this, we kind of look at some teams. So we both looked at West Orange Stark. We looked at who we were going to put in our top 6. I think 1 through 3 didn't change. 1 through 4, I don't think changed for me.
No, 1 through 4 is super easy. It didn't change for you. It changed for me because
3.
Westbrook fell down.
Yeah.
So I do think that those are clear set. They should be the top 4 on everybody's
But
list.
I would say 5 and 6, 4, 5, 6, we kind of went back and forth off camera, away from the podcast here, and kind of decided who we were going to put in there. Yeah. Bridge City, what can't you say about Bridge City? Hang on, let me fix my headphones here.
Oh, my God.
What can you say
on
about
top of your head, Mike.
It's all good. Bridge City, undefeated on the year. They've got a big game coming up. I don't want to give too much away because we'll talk about that here in just a little bit. But the Bridge City Cardinals, undefeated, certainly belong in the top 6 as well, as does the Newton Eagles. Newton hasn't lost a district game since 2012. They've won 83 straight district games. I don't see them after, 2 weeks ago, they put a whooping on Woodville.
Scored 72 against Woodville and then scored 72 the next week. Back-to-back weeks, and you score 144 points.
Yeah, incredible. So they certainly belong on there. And then what can you say about our top 2? It's been our top 2 for weeks now. P&G and Port Arthur Memorial, both teams are undefeated. Both have arguments to be number 1.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think so. So it could go either way. it could go either way. I do think Port Arthur Memorial, they started slow last week against Westbrook, but had a big second half and really covered the spread, so to say. Really pulled away in that one. So Memorial stays as my top team in my top 6 this week.
Yeah, like you kind of mentioned, I think the top 4 are pretty set for me.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have any sway. When it came to doing my 1 through 4, I felt confident to be those teams.
Yeah.
Teams like West Orange Stark or LCM even barely missed out for me.
Sure.
I consider putting LCM up there, 3-0 start in district play. They have looked hot.
Mm-hmm.
Once again, another one of those teams. Maybe they're jumped up. If they can beat Bridge City this week, they might be in my top 6 next week.
Right.
But Newton, obviously Newton football, they're going to keep being great. I mean, when you outscore, in back-to-back weeks, 144 to 27,
something like that.
I mean, they are absolutely killing whoever they play, and it's really impressive. I said at the beginning of the year that Newton could be a state championship team, and that's not a bold take ever saying that about Newton. Mm-hmm. But you never know. You never know which one of those teams can make the run. But I really think right now they're gearing up to be that team. And like you mentioned, PNG Port Arthur. It's not much you can say about those. It is probably the biggest debate in Southeast Texas right now, which one of those teams is number 1, number 2. I actually saw a comment on our top 6. I thought it was funny. I guess a PNG guy saying, Cam's a traitor. He moved us down for now. Yeah. And I think
he's a PNG kid, by the way, everyone.
I'm 99% positive it was satire. He was trolling, but I thought it was pretty funny.
Yeah.
You talk about both these teams. PNG has those tough wins against Huntsville, LaPorte, who is I believe still ranked in 5A D1.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
And then you got Memorial, who's sitting at 8-0. They have even the teams that I keep saying, this is going to be a test.
Mm-hmm.
I can't keep using that because at some point they have already passed all my tests.
Yes,
I thought Barberton would be a test. I thought Westbrook would be a test, and they are beating these teams pretty
so their
comfortably.
next test will be Lufkin.
I mean, you can make that argument.
Maybe.
That's if they destroy Lufkin again, like they destroy Lufkin like they've been beating everybody, I don't even know what you can say about Port Arthur right now.
Yeah.
I've heard a lot of people bringing up the past, Port Arthur's past, and how they've done. When they get into the first round, they get in the second round of the playoffs. But this isn't a team. I said a few weeks ago they have to beat themselves, and I don't see them beating themselves.
I agree with that. Yeah, hopefully they don't beat themselves. They don't make too many mistakes and beat themselves. Now, I don't feel like it's been that long ago where Memorial has had an undefeated regular season, hosted a playoff game, and had a first-round exit. So they haven't been playoff tested yet, and so the playoffs it's a different atmosphere. They'll have a bye week at the end of the regular season. Their week 11 is their bye week, so they'll have a week off to heal, get ready for a playoff push, and hopefully it doesn't derail them because they're playing really well right now, and I don't want that week off for them to get rusty or anything like that.
I always get nervous when teams take that last week of the season off because it's like, especially with a team like Memorial, they have all the momentum in the world.
Right now
they are amazing. But it's just everything about Memorial. It is just a special team. I think they have the best duo in Southeast Texas and Alex Eugene and Monte Martin.
Right.
I think they have probably the best defense in 409, and I don't know how you can stop that. Arguably they should be the best team in Southeast Texas. If they matched up against PNG, I hate to say it, they'd probably beat them. Comfortably.
Right,
and that's not a shot at PNG because this team is comfortably beating everybody.
Right. They're talented as well.
Man, I can tell you, they have looked really good, and I'm kind of getting to the point where I'm starting to feel more and more comfortable with them sitting at 1 for me.
And you and I have talked about it. If PNG played Hardin, they would beat Hardin. It's not. We're not ranking these teams against each other. If you're watching on YouTube, you're able to see who we're talking about. Yeah. But we've got Memorial, PNG, Newton, Bridge City, Hardin, and Silsbee all in our top 6, and we flip flopped our 5 and our 6 here. You've got Silsbee at 5 and Hardin at 6. Right. But anyway, it's not like Hardin is going to beat PNG or anything like that, so that they should move up or anything. They're ranked as far as their strength of schedule and how well they've done so far. It's not against it. So when you say Memorial would beat PNG, that's not how we're ranking.
No,
them.
we're
That's
not ranking. But once again, it's another one of those
what
fun
people
talking
say.
points.
Yeah, it's
and
what
I love
people
it.
say.
I see it everywhere in the comments. But that is a good point because I do see other people that might have PNG 1 over Memorial, and I don't agree with what I just said being an argument as why they should be over. There are reasons why you can put Memorial 1. Would they beat PNG against each other? Did they beat PNG 3 years ago?
Yes.
That doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
It has no correlation to this team at all. And so, but I'm starting to get to the point where I'm more and more comfortable every week with my Memorial at number 1.
Yeah, very good. All right, there's our Week 9 top 6 teams of the week. We'll be back. We'll talk about some games this week we feel are must-wins for different situations in a couple of these.
Absolutely.
Some must-win games for Week 9. Stay close, everyone. We'll be back.
Southeast Texans are passionate about their hometown team. Fully loaded with more scores, more interviews, and more games.
Follow us on Facebook, Insta, X, and KFDM.com.
Get the most complete coverage of your favorite Friday night rivalries.
Classic Southeast Texas presents the Friday Night Tailgate Party. Brought to you by 5 Point Credit Union. Catch it every Friday after KFDM 6 News at 10.
Hey, everyone, we're back. This is the KFDM Sports Extra podcast. Mike Friedman here along with Cam Sanderson. Appreciate you listening wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts or watching us on YouTube. News on KFDM on YouTube as well. And I do know that we share this on our KFDM News Facebook page as well. Any other social medias, we'll post this a link where you can come watch.
Yeah, sure.
Get a chance to see this. So we're doing something a little different here. We're going to talk about some teams that have a lot on the line, really.
Yeah.
For Week 9, you can call them must wins, and some of them are must wins for different situations.
Yeah, absolutely.
So let's go ahead and reveal in the middle. We're
gonna go with our middle one.
Let's go with the middle one because this is our must win. All right, Westbrook and Beaumont United, the Beaumont Bowl rivalry, big game. Both those teams only have one district win. If you want to make the playoffs, you don't lose this game.
Yeah, I'd say a loss Friday night ends your season.
Yeah.
You'll play a few more games, but you won't see postseason football.
Yeah.
And, both these teams, it's going to be an exciting one. I know Westbrook handled it pretty comfortably last year, and they're probably coming into this year as the favorite.
Yeah,
but,
right.
You have to win this game. And you talk about these rivalry games. You mentioned it with Big County Madness every year. I love to remind people you saying this all the time, but throw the records out the window.
Yes.
And that's true, I think, with any rivalry.
Yes.
And so with this one, it's like, Westbrook can be the better team, but it doesn't matter. It does not matter on Friday night. Once kickoff starts, you have to be the best team, from the start of the first to the end of the fourth, not the best team last week or the week before or a year ago.
Exactly.
And so I think it's going to be an interesting one, but it is a must-win.
Sure.
Like, you cannot lose. If you're a 1-3 in this district, you're not making the playoffs.
Right.
And I'm pretty comfortable in that based on the standings in that district. I'm pretty comfortable to say that you absolutely have to win this one.
And the rest of the way for both these teams, Westbrook will be at Galveston Ball next week and then home against Barbers Hill.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, United has Lufkin at home next week, and then they're at Splendora. You would think United would be able to beat Splendora.
They play Splendora?
They play Splendora? No, I have the wrong one. Sterling.
Those are
My mistake.
Yeah.
Sterling.
Those are two hard teams.
Yeah.
Lufkin and Sterling.
Yeah.
Westbrook, Galveston Ball, I think, is a beatable team for Westbrook.
Right.
Barbers Hill will be a tough one, but none of that matters if you win this one. That's what matters.
Yeah.
You have to come out of this one with the win.
The winner of this one gets to 2-2 in district and keeps their playoff hopes alive, no doubt. So that is a must-win right there, one we're looking forward to. We'll have highlights and post-game, of course, for you coming up on the Friday night tailgate party after the late news at 10:35. All right, where are we going next, Cam?
Let's do the top one.
Okay.
We'll do the top one. And we got HJ and Lumberton. And, Lumberton's, man, they've been on a streak. Lumberton
They sure have.
has been good. I'll make that very clear. I think Lumberton's been doing really good. You're coming off 3 straight wins. But now they're going against this Hardin-Jefferson team, who I know is 1-3 in district play versus a 3-1 team. So you might be thinking, how is this a must-win? Well, for Hardin-Jefferson, it absolutely is a must-win.
Right.
If you want to make the playoffs, you have to win on Friday night. But in a district like this one, you have to win 4 games to make the playoffs. Lumberton, you got 4 games left on the schedule, and 3 games left on the schedule, and you're sitting at 3-1.
Yeah.
I do believe beating HJ it locks them in.
Sure.
They are a playoff team,
For
100%.
For sure.
HJ, if they lose this one, they're out. They cannot make the playoffs. And so I think it's a must-win for both these teams. HJ's already seen the tough stretch. I believe if they can beat Lumberton, they can finish the season undefeated, and we're probably talking about them as the 4th team.
With an HJ win against Lumberton, they'll move to 2-3 in district play, and then they've got games at Vidor and Liberty to end the year. Winnable games for HJ, so they could get to 4-3 in district play if they finish out. But this is a must-win. I do lean more on the Hawks side. It's a must-win for the Hawks. Lumberton, if they lose, they're not out of playoff contention by any means.
Not.
They'll fall to 3-2 in district, and they'll still be, one of the top 4 teams in that district race. But a must-win for the HJ Hawks if they want to keep their playoff hopes alive.
Yeah,
should be a good one.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And our last one.
We're sticking in District 10 for a Division 1.
All right, you can debate if this is a must-win, but I think it is. We kind of mentioned with Silsbee and West Orange Stark earlier.
Okay.
It's 2 undefeated teams going for district.
Right.
But if West Orange Stark wins that game, they haven't locked district down.
Correct.
They still have to see a team like Hampshire Finette.
Right.
With these teams, I believe you have to go undefeated in this district to win it.
Sure.
And only one of these teams can be undefeated, and we'll find that out on Friday night.
Right. And, last year these two teams had the same situation. It was at LCM last year. It's at Bridge City coming up this Friday. Now, LCM really turned it on once district play happened. They'd lost their non-district games.
0-3. Yeah.
0-3, and then they've won 4 straight since district play has started. Now, Bridge City hasn't lost yet this year. They are undefeated, and they've got talent. They've got a lot of talent there with Mason Manning, Caleb Menard, guys like that.
Right. So, I do think that Bridge City is, man, they look great this year.
Yeah.
They really do. And I have a lot, like I mention them every week. I think their passing game is one of the best in Southeast Texas. I think that's what makes them so good. They dominate passing. Abraham Mungia, I think, is one of the best receivers.
I think I said
you were talking about Orangefield,
he
was. He's one of the best receivers in the area. Hudson Hoffman.
Yeah.
Coach kind of let me know preseason when I went out there to interview them. He was like, we got a guy who's been playing quarterback. We feel pretty good about him, because they had lost their guy the year before. And man, Hudson Hoffman has been awesome to watch. Every time I get to see him in person, when I see clips of him, I get those top plays of the week, and kids send me plays all the time. And I can tell you this Bridge City offense is one of my favorite to watch. I think they've actually been in my top 6 like 4 weeks in a row now, because they're dynamic. But LCM, like you mentioned, they've turned it on, and they do look really good. And oh, man, this is really, it is 2 really good teams. I mentioned LCM was just out of the top 6, so I do believe this is 2 of our better Southeast Texas teams. And I know 100% you have to go undefeated to win this district, so this one is a must-win, absolutely.
Yeah, must-win to win the district.
If you want to win the district.
We've got other teams trying to make playoffs, one of the 4 playoff spots. This one's for the district championship, and this is a must-win. Whoever wins this game between Bridge City and LCM will be crowned District 10 4A Division 1 champs.
Yeah.
No doubt, even with 2 weeks still to go in play. It's hard to think it is week 9 of the high school football season, but what a week 9 it is. Games everywhere. We do have Mid-County Madness, the greatest rivalry in the country.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
But we've got some other big games to talk about as well, so not to slide anybody. But let's go ahead and start with Mid-County Madness. P&G on the road at Bulldog Stadium at Nederland. Maybe a must-win for Nederland, although I don't think they can make the playoffs now. They've really stumbled of late. They have not been healthy.
No, they have not been healthy. That's a big key factor.
Injuries have played a factor in that or whatever. And P&G, of course, coming in undefeated. Oh, they've been in this situation before, though, right?
Yeah. I was actually talking to a P&G coach on Sunday. I told you about this, and he told me, it's one of those situations where this just looks like the perfect brewing of like one of those classic Mid-County Madnesses where you don't know what's going to happen. And I agree with them because we saw it last year, right? We saw the number 1 team in the state on a 20-win streak with a quarterback who had never lost a game at home, and Nederland came, and it was the win heard across the world. Everybody was blown away by the Bulldogs pulling off the biggest upset of the year.
Yeah.
And so that's what Mid-County Madness is. I've been very fortunate to grow up in the P&G area to be able to be a part of this rivalry my whole life, and I'm still fortunate to be in this area and get to cover it.
Yeah, for sure.
But man, it's going to be good. You can't predict it. I can't tell you. I can sit here and tell you why I think one team's going to win. I can tell you why I think the other's going to win. Whatever I say, it somehow never matters for this game.
Right. It really doesn't matter. And like I say, throw the records out the window. You could say P&G's coming in undefeated. They've got more talent. They're going to win. Not so fast, because we've seen it time and time and time. Longer than he's been alive, I've seen it. Time and time again, where the team that's supposed to win does not win. And it's just the emotion of the game, the crowd, the 10,000 plus that'll be packed in there to Bulldogs. I don't know what it holds. Probably not 10,000. But around there, close, something around that. It'll be standing room only. The crowd will be loud. You'll have a sea of purple somewhere in there.
Oh, yeah.
Among the black and gold with everyone there. But it's just a great game, a great atmosphere to be at. If you've never been to a Mid-County Madness game, too late this year.
Hard to get in.
Yeah, hard to
you
get
better
in.
Be ready
you
Monday
better know
as soon as
somebody. Or be first in line online. It's online now. I remember when it used to be people camping out overnight.
We were
waiting
looking
for
at
tickets.
the
That was
old
always
videos
fun.
of that the other day. That's pretty
that's
cool.
always good. All right, that's a good game. Of course, we'll come back here to Beaumont. We've got another big game, the Beaumont Bowl. I'm glad BISD decided to go back to that name. They called it the Alumni Bowl for a little while between Beaumont schools, and it went back to the Beaumont Bowl. There's nothing negative about a Beaumont Bowl or anything like that. It's city bragging rights. The Beaumont Bowl, Westbrook versus United, the two Beaumont 5A schools. That's what it belongs to be, the Beaumont Bowl.
This is this has been scheduled on the same week as Mid-County Madness for 3 straight years, or at least the 3 years I've been here.
Yeah.
And it's killing me. I want to be at a Beaumont Bowl. I
Yeah.
so badly want to be there. Man, it's once again, it's one of those. It's a rivalry. You don't really know what's going to happen, and I think it's very similar to Mid-County Madness, which is a team that seems like they should be the clear favorite,
Right.
but does that really matter?
Right.
And it's going to be exciting. It's also one of those cool situations where they both have home field advantage. There's no we're at home this year. Like maybe Nederland benefits because they got bigger home stands than the away stands, but you don't get that at this game.
Right.
You can pack the stands from both
Sure.
sides. So. Man, I don't know. It's going to be another great matchup. It's one of those you're so excited to watch it go down, and I know we'll give them pretty similar coverage to what we give P&G. I know we'll have post game there.
It's
so.
almost like co-games of the week. So we'll have Mid-County Madness leave off the big show Friday night at 10:35, the Friday night tailgate party, and then we'll come back and we'll have the Beaumont Bowl leading off that segment and post-game reaction from the winning team and everything like that. Yeah. And then we'll get into the rest of the highlights. When we do get into the rest of the highlights, we're going to be in 10-4A Division I in that battle for the district championship, Bridge City versus LCM. Cam's actually going to be there, the one shooting that.
Oh, yeah.
So what are you looking forward to, man?
Oh, man, that game, right?
Yeah,
Watching
right.
both those teams, it just gets me fired up for some good football. And, a lot of times now that I'm not doing Game of the Week anymore, I don't necessarily get to go to, like, an amazing matchup. That's what I love about this week because I'm guaranteed an awesome matchup.
Yeah.
I can't say enough about Bridge City's offense. I am so blown away. And, I can talk about it. Their defense is great, too. But their offense, it's that passing offense that blows me away. And I love a good passing team. 2 years ago, it was Lumberton. Last year, it was Hampshire Finette.
Right.
And this year, for me, it's Bridge City.
Yeah.
They pass the ball better than any team in Southeast Texas.
Yeah.
But with LCM, that's one of those teams where they're still dominating on the ground. They still look amazing, but there's so much excitement.
They found a way. Once district play started, they certainly found a way.
Well, they had that impossibly hard non-district schedule.
Well, they do that on purpose.
It set them up.
Yeah.
Well, so this is what I think this is the main focus for me for this one. You either get Josh Smalley sets himself up as, to get his first district championship as the head coach of the Cardinals,
right? Or
LCM gets their first time in program history back-to-back district titles. So it's once again, it almost brings that same excitement of a rivalry game because there's so much on the line other than just one regular district title. I mean, it's history on the line. And so it's
for sure.
Oh man.
Two Orange County teams, you could call it a rivalry. It's not dubbed. It's not the Bayou Bowl or anything like that, but it's not dubbed anything. But two Orange County teams going head-to-head for the district title, that certainly has all the makings of a rivalry as well. All right, drop down into 9-4A Division II. We've got another district title on the line here for Week 9. Silsbee at West Orange Stark, both 2-0 in district play. Winner stays in the hunt, doesn't necessarily lock up the district championship because you still have to win your next 2 games, which for West Orange Stark will include Hampshire Finette on the last week. But, it's winner takes the inside track to the district title.
Yeah, and it's going to be interesting because the way Silsbee I felt like dominated Hampshire Finette was on the ground and how good their offense is. But I feel like when you talk about West Orange Stark, you talk about that defense.
That defense, yeah.
And so it's going to be interesting to see how this Silsbee team can go against that West Orange Stark defense. They're a heavy run team, and I think that's fine, and because they do it very well.
Yeah,
so it's going to be interesting. I believe it's at West Orange Stark.
It is.
And so maybe that holds some value to it. I know Coach Wagner, when I did my district preview at the beginning of the year, he told me that there's really just feels like there's no value to home field advantage. He's never felt it. So okay. I don't know how it is in that district for them. But I do think this is 2 amazing teams going against each other.
Sure.
I think West Orange Stark maybe kind of staggered at the beginning of the year.
Right.
They kind of stumbled after that Newton win.
Yeah.
But they really have built themselves back up and put them in a good position. Silsbee has continued to look hot over the past few weeks.
Right.
It's going to be a really exciting one.
It'd be a good week. I do want to say, if we didn't have Mid-County Madness, if we didn't have the Beaumont Bowl, if Bridge City and LCM weren't playing against each other for that district championship, this one would be our game of the week. We had at least 5 games we could have picked up for our game of the week, and it doesn't slide any of those games. We do have our game of the week as the biggest rivalry in the country. It is the number one. USA Today said this is the number one rivalry.
Absolutely.
Not just in the state of Texas, everywhere. This Mid-County Madness, PNG versus Nederland, the number one rivalry in the country. And so you move on from there, but we're going to have coverage of all of these teams. I just want to make sure everyone knows.
Yeah, we're going to have them all. 10 weeks out of 11 weeks, we have a show, and we show you maybe the matchup with the most stakes on the line, or like the best matchup. 1 week, hey, we're going to show you the greatest rivalry in the country. And
it's gotta be.
I'm sorry.
Don't be sorry for that.
We got an amazing lineup. Watch the whole show. Don't just watch the first vlog. Let's watch everything, because you got a lot of good games this week.
Absolutely. All right, you want to go down to some of the smaller schools in District 10 3A Division 1. Orangefield will be off, but Hardin will be at Anahuac on Thursday, and East Chambers will be at Kirbyville on Friday.
Yeah, Hardin, I expect them to keep winning out, and I kind of expect the same thing for East Chambers until next week. They'll see Orangefield, and that'll be, I think, the battle for second. And so I expect both those teams to come out with a win. I have no reason to doubt Hardin for sure, and I have really no reason to doubt East Chambers. I mean, the only loss East Chambers has seen in district play is who?
Yeah.
I think it's their only loss on the season, actually.
Right, yeah.
And it's against an undefeated Hardin team who's now state ranked. So I have no reason to count either one of those teams out.
Yeah, very good. All right, do you want to talk a little small school football? West Sabine and Evadale for the District 12 2A Division 2 title. So there's another game coming up Friday with a district championship on the line. Evadale's 2-0 in that district. Yeah. West Sabine 3-0 in that district. So it's going to be at Evadale, so the Rebels get to be at home for that one. Winner of that one, no doubt, will go on to win the district title.
Most likely, yeah. I think they're in a good spot. I think the good thing about them for both those teams, I believe it's a 2-game gap between those two and the rest
next,
of the
and
district.
Third place.
So this is really like first and second for sure. You've about locked yourself in for that.
Yeah.
Man, Evadale, how about that River Bowl win?
Yeah,
he looked pretty
kidding.
good. And passing, Brett Buckner, he looked awesome.
Yeah.
5 touchdowns passing, a touchdown on the rushing.
Can he have a repeat performance?
And if he can,
yeah.
I think it's pretty hard to stop that Evadale team. It's going to be an interesting one because West Sabine, I know, has looked good this year. They've been hot, and so
there's a reason they're undefeated in district play.
Exactly.
So yeah, for sure.
So I'm excited to see how that one goes. Once again, maybe another one that could have been game of the week on another week. It's just how it falls sometimes. You get all these amazing games at the end of the year, and it's you can only have one game of the week, right?
Hey, if that's our complaint, it's a good complaint to have.
Yeah.
We've got too many great games to talk about for Week 9. We'll, of course, have it all covered for you on the Friday night tailgate party. Friday nights after the late news at 10:35 p.m. on KFDM Channel 6. Hope you join us then. We'll be back with another KFDM Sports Extra podcast next week. Bye, everyone.
Thanks for watching the KFDM Sports Extra with Mike Friedman and Cam Sanderson.